Alright guys, how's it going? This is actually the first review I've done in a long time, since before I broke up for college. I've been busy doing other stuff lately, so I haven't really had time to sit down and do a video review. So these are some of my purchases that I've bought this week. Couple of war films. Number one, the very underrated Cross of Iron, starring James Coburn, Maximilian, I can never pronounce his name properly, Maximilian Schell, James Mason and David Warner. It's about a German Wehrmacht unit on the Eastern Front in the late 1943 when the Germans were starting to be pushed back out of Russia. It's a truly amazing. It's made by Sam Peckinpah. It's his only war film that he ever made, which is a shame because it's truly one of the best war films I've ever seen. I mean, to me, it's better than Apocalypse Now, but that, that's just my personal opinion. And it's the first of a couple of films to show the Germans that they're not all just fanatical Nazis. So it's a damn good film. If you've seen any of Sam Peckinpah's films like The Wild Bunch or Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid or Convoy, the slow motion death scenes, imagine like the shootout in The Wild Bunch plus times 10, and that's like, you get that quite a lot in Cross of Iron. It's a very, very good film. This one, The Battle of the Bulge, I'm not really going to shout out the cast list because I'll be here for about half an hour shouting them out, but it's got like Henry Fonda, Robert Shaw, Robert Ryan and Charles Bronson, to name a few in it. Great movie, very, very, very long. It's about 3 hours long. It's basically about the last-ditched desperation of the Germans to launch an all-out offensive on the Allies in the Ardennes in late 1944, but it failed. Obviously, because otherwise we'd be speaking German. But it's a good film. The guy who really steals the show is Robert Shaw as the German tank commander Dietrich. Robert Shaw has always been one of my favourite actors, from what his performance in from Russia with Love to Jaws, all the way through to like Battle of Britain and The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. Very good actor. So it's a good wee DVD. Picked up for missing and for £3, so can't argue with that. Now, this one I've been looking for ages. This is George Romero's box set of The Dead. This has most of his films from Night of the Living Dead through to Diary of the Dead. This came out just before George Romero made Survival of the Dead, so if you're expecting Survival of the Dead, it's not amongst this, but it's still pretty good value. I got it for £25 in HMV. The only downside about this is the cut of Dawn of the Dead. It's the Dario Argento cut, which means none of the violence has really been cut, but a lot of the dialogue which makes up the film and explains some of the stories has been taken out, and it doesn't really make much sense. When Romero was making Dawn of the Dead, he kind of co-produced it with Dario Argento, and he kind of gave Argento the rights to distribute Dawn of the Dead in Italy and Europe, and the thought was that they weren't one for a lot of dialogue, so they just wanted to cut the dialogue and just have it straight to the action and the gore, which is alright, but I prefer some of the dialogue. One of the things that's not in it is Joe Palacio had his first ever debut role. Joe Palacio, you'll know, is playing Captain Rhodes in Day of the Dead, who's probably in my mind one of the greatest movie villains, very underrated. His performance has been cut out of the Dario Argento cut, so if you're gonna get Dawn of the Dead, I'd recommend you find a separate kind of cut. But yeah, that side, it's a good box set. Pretty good. This is a game I bought the other week there. The other day there. Warhammer 40k Space Marine. I really like this game. It's got mixed reviews from people. Most of them give it around about 7 out of 10 or 7.5 out of 10. I'm about the same. I'd give it 7.5 out of 10. It's a visually stunning game. There's plenty of action. It's a good mix of melee combat and ranged combat. There's a couple issues, like for starters, you can't choose your Space Marine chapter, and there's other things like it's not, the voice acting's a bit mediocre. Although apart from Mark Strong, who does the voice of Captain Titus, the character you play, and you play the bloody Ultramarines again, it seems to be in all these kind of video games, the Ultramarines are always involved. I mean, I know they're meant to be the most loyal chapter to the Emperor, but you know, I'd have settled for the Imperial Fists or the Dark Angels. But that aside, it's a good movie. Sorry, good game. Other stuff I bought the other week there, I bought a copy of, I've ordered it in the mail, but it's not here yet, is the movie The Eagle Has Landed, based on the Jack Higgins novel. I've seen this movie a lot of times. It's a good film. It's about, it didn't actually happen, but it's about a fictional plot to capture Winston Churchill by a German parachute regiment led by Michael Caine, who's actually at the time in a German penal battalion for trying to save the life of a Jewish girl in the Eastern Front. It's a really good film. There's some really, but there's some stuff that really let it down that I won't go into. Well, it's stuff like Donald Sutherland is in it, and he plays Liam Devlin, basically an IRA agent who's on the side of the Nazis to try and help them capture Winston Churchill. His Irish accent comes off as sounding like something out of The Quiet Man. Quite fucking ridiculous. There's also stuff as well, like Donald Pleasance actually gives a really, really great performance as Heinrich Himmler. And the tragedy of that is he was only in a couple of scenes, and I felt if they'd had more scenes with him in it, it would have made the story a whole lot more brilliant. But you know, damn good film. Other stuff I bought is not here yet, should be here, is some albums. Online I got Venom, Welcome to Hell, which is recommended by, I was watching an interview with Dave Grohl when he was doing the Probot album, and we were asking him about what led him to really want to do that kind of album, and he was talking about his influences like Voivod, Celtic Frost, Venom, Merciful Fate, other stuff like that. So those are the albums I bought. Also as well, I ordered Black Flag, Slip It In, because these days in record stores you can only ever get Black Flag Damaged, their kind of first debut album with Henry Rollins. It cost me about 15 quid, but I've heard it on YouTube, so it's a pretty good album. Yeah, so that's kind of all my purchases for the week. I doubt probably the next video I'll do because I'll have no bloody money until then, because I keep spending it on stupid shit I don't need, will be the Skyrim review. I'm going to pre-order it, get the special edition, so that'll probably be the next review I do. So thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you later.